do you do?
I just go from place to place and do what I do best.
What's that?
Show off.
Yeah. You do that well.
Boston Trucker here. Welcome to my channel. I hope you enjoy it.
Good morning, Mike.
Good morning. You ready for part two?
Yeah, sure.
How are you?
The first call I got?
What's that?
Jerry Altadonna.
Really?
That's Herbie. Herbie, Mr. Clean.
That's funny.
About 6:30 in the morning.
That's
he must
great.
have been getting off his run with the French fries.
Yeah. I couldn't believe he texted me. He goes, "Oh, you got Herb."
Yeah.
He's a friend of mine. I couldn't believe that. Small world, isn't it? Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. Well, I got a lot of friends. Like
Yeah. People love that video. Did you like it? Did you see it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's how he told me. He
Okay.
called me.
Hi.
Hey,
With my love.
Well, good.
Yeah. No. Tell you the truth, I'm not familiar with all, this video, and as I told you before, I still have a flip phone. But
did a few people see it at least?
Oh yeah.
Good.
I don't know. They go by how many views, and I mean that kind of tells you.
Yeah, it got like 5,000 views so far. It's pretty good. Yeah.
For a little guy from a dead-end town, one road in, one road out.
Isn't it? People loved you, man.
Yeah.
They want more, so that's great. It was an honor talking to you.
Yeah, no, I've done it all. Drove the Boston Post Road. But I'd like to say, I don't know, am I on there?
Yeah, you're on video now.
Oh, good.
Oh, good.
I have to give credit to the wives of the drivers that are dedicated and make this industry what it is. Jerry's wife, my past wife.
Bonnie,
passed
What was your
away.
wife's name?
Susan.
Susan.
From Waltham, like we said, Boyne Street. And very understanding, she didn't need fancy clothes, just what you saw is what you got.
Yeah.
And she was walking down Main Street in Waltham, and a guy had a pistol and said, "Give me your wallet." Give me your bag. She, wait a minute, my wallet's here. Take that too. Because she was a nurse.
Yeah.
She had that trait.
Yeah.
But the wives that support their husbands are really unsung heroes in my.
It is, and it's important to have somebody that's going to stand behind you.
Back you up.
Yeah.
She handled the money. Susan, I'm going to buy something. It's $2,000. What are you going to do now? We can use it. I know it's a value and it's a good buy.
Yeah.
And she never questioned. She might get mad when I walked out.
Sure. That's funny.
We never fought. She was the boss, handled all the paperwork. She worked at Grover Cronin's growing up.
Oh, really?
Downtown Waltham, the favorite store.
No kidding.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I'd like to just say Billy Walsh, my good friend, had a massive heart attack on Friday. He was cutting his grass, but he only lived a mile from the South Shore Hospital.
Okay. So
And his wife, his tongue started to get thick, and he had done fertilizer and stuff.
Yeah.
And he didn't know if he had touched his, a drink of water bottle, reaction. So his wife was getting her teeth cleaned at the dentist. And he called her and said, "Bobby, I don't feel quite right. I'll be right back. I'll be right there." And she looked at him, and his color was going. He was having a heart attack.
Oh my God.
They called the 911 operator, got the information, sent the ambulance.
Yeah.
When they got there, right away they were informed of what the condition was like. And it was like a well-oiled machine.
Yeah.
He was only a couple of miles from South Shore Hospital.
Yeah.
When he got there, they were right there waiting for him, brought him in upstairs. The doctor that did the operation said that he was still having it as they were starting to open him up. So you talk about the good Lord.
Yeah.
I'm religious and very patriotic, as you know, the Reach Across America program.
Wow,
But,
we wish him all the best.
Yeah,
Luckily he's in
no,
good
he
hands.
is. He's
in
home.
good hands. Is he home?
He wanted to be here today.
Really?
He says, "I got to go to a truck show Sunday."
Oh my God.
He said, "Where is it?" He says, "Out in Bolton, Hudson." He said, "No, that's a little too far." He says, "We don't want to overdo it."
Yeah, no, good for him. Take a weekend off.
Yeah.
Wow, good for him.
But he's a real good mechanic, cat. He worked at the T Authority over in Everett. Very conscientious, very friendly with J.C. Madigan, the building body company right up the street here.
Yeah, in Lunenburg. I think.
Lunenburg, next
Lancaster, Shirley over there.
yeah,
somewhere,
right here. Yeah, not too far. And they're real nice people. I went out there with Billy once just to look around. He was getting some diamond aluminum for his garage with a stove he has, and he wanted to make it fireproof against the back wall.
Okay.
So but other than that, we're here. We made it. It was muddy up on the hill there. Ooh, they had power dividers in. Get back, get a running start. So yesterday with the sun, hopefully it dried it out a little bit.
Right.
You can tell from my wheels on the trucks.
So you get all these in the trailer?
Yeah, those two go in the trailer. One in one trailer, one in the other. Golf carts.
What's this one on the end here?
That's a Mac, a 1928. That's
Can you show it to me?
colors.
Can you show it to me?
Yeah, this.
So what's the story behind the paint job, the colors?
Well, years ago, we did work. They originally were all red. We have photos.
Oh, I'm over
sorry, I'm on the back side. We had photos, and our trucks were, the lettering was Daly and Wanza, not straight, and they were red. And we used to do work for McGee's Stove on Union Street, across from the Union Oyster House. And that never got torn down because it was an old restaurant. So that survived all the downtown revitalization in Boston. So they hired a company to design a paint scheme for this truck, which was ours, owned and operated. McGee's Stove, gold leaf lettering, picture of a gas range, New England's largest stove house, Boston, Mass. And the red and the green is what the fellow came up with. It's kind of Christmas looking. Some of my drivers, their handles were Christmas tree, holiday. As I told you, I'm not into the CB, but they were.
That's funny.
And we picked up on it. And then we did work for Ballantine Ale, Mr. Cody on Freeport Street. And that's how you had to come around Fields Corner, kind of the low bridge of the overhead train, going in from Ashmont into Andrews Square. So as a result, those were painted the Ballantine blue out of Newark with the purity, body, and flavor.
Wow.
That was 3 rings. That's what and after the war, the soldiers got used to drinking ale overseas. When they came back, where's ale? Where can we get ale? Where they had been converted, so to speak. And my father used to do a few, pick up 30 cases and deliver them once he come over the bridge in the Ponset. North Quincy, Wells's Cafe, Cane's Lobster, the different eating places. So the demand kept growing and growing. So he ended up with Holland Beer. And D&N, a freight company, Dave and Nate, they had Max on Dorchester Ave. They used to bring it in from Newark in bulk. And then the smaller distributors, in which my dad had 2 or 3 trucks painted with Ballantine Ale and beer. And we'd sometime in the moving van haul empties back down to Newark to pick up a load coming back.
Wow, the trip down to Newark back then probably was a lot different than now.
Post Road. I was talking to someone. I mean, I knew that road like the back of my hand.
Well, like now you could go to Newark and back in a day easily. What about back then? 2-day trip?
Well, it was 9 hours.
Down?
8 to the George Washington Bridge.
Really?
Give or take.
Oh my God. So that's a big ride.
Well,
back then.
Boston Post Road. Well, you came over the Charter Oak Bridge, no Mass Pike. 9 and 20 down through by Hebert Candy. 20 on to 15 down to Hartford. 10 cents for the Charter Oak Bridge. Now they took, I don't know if that's even still there. With the interstate, you can cheat the toll and go to 84, is it? That goes 91. 84 to 91. But I started running the coastal route. Number one, it's a little warmer in the winter. You might get rain and sleet, not snow. You get in around Manchester and by the old tobacco farms over that way. You could have snow, Rockville, down that way, Manchester.
Jeez, what a ride.
Then you went to Berlin Turnpike.
Yeah.
The lights are all set for
Is that
45.
15?
Well, 5 was at the end of that. That was, well, we call it the Berlin Turnpike. To tell you the truth, the cars would go straight and we had to get off.
Okay.
Down through Meriden and Wallingford, the big international silver company, down into, trying to think of the name of the little town. But anyway, you'd take Route 5 down to New Haven. In New Haven, you'd pick up the guys, Arrow Transportation, coming out of Pawtucket,
Yeah.
Providence, you know.
Can you jump on Route 1 there?
Then we jumped on Route 1.
Wow.
And there was a diner right as you made a right by
Yeah.
the Sergeant Locke Company. I think it was Stone's Diner was the name.
Okay.
Then you got truck traffic like you couldn't believe.
Right,
You
right.
couldn't believe it. I mean, it's traffic lights, stop and start.
Yeah.
One time a guy had a little underpowered tractor with a pretty good load on and start off in Grandma, and by the time he got it wound up and get to the next key, he almost had to go back in. So he was holding the parade up.
Yeah.
The
How'd you guys do with all those hills, like
Well,
across
that's
across
it.
Connecticut?
You had to get a run. You had to get a
You
run.
had to run, right?
We had overdrives up towards the dash, so you had to come off those hills 70 miles an hour.
Yeah.
I mean, we had whites. They give the Greyhound bus a run. You know.
Yeah.
But you had to go that way to get up the next one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you drop and
Right.
boom, you lost it quick. 120
Did a law enforcement back then let you ride down
Yeah,
those hills?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
They knew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you had to do what you had to do.
Yeah.
But anyway, this fellow's the first in line every time, down through all of the little towns, you know, Portchester, Rye, Greenwich, Mamaroneck. And you did anything you could to get by a guy, even almost if you went on the sidewalk in the middle of the night to get around him, because it was 2 lanes, stop and go, each, you know, traffic lights.
Yeah.
So this fellow's first. Finally, we come to a spot. I was like the 3rd truck back. And a guy, there was a left turn lane, but there was nobody turning left. We were all going straight. So the 2nd truck back, the fella jumps out of his car. I don't know if he had a truck. I don't know if he had an old Brockaway or what. Ran up, opened this guy's hood, had gloves on, grabbed the distributor cap wires, pulled them out of the distributor, disabled the motor. The guy stood there in shock when he got out, jumped back in his truck. He goes like that to us, and we go around where the left lane would have been, and we passed him. I don't know whatever happened or how he got going again or not, but
That's
it
unreal.
was tough back in the day, you know.
You had to be tough,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
One time they had a detour.
Yeah.
M&M and a lot of those drivers, they just went terminal to terminal. They made a wrong turn on the detour. No signs, no nothing. First guy makes it leading the way. The second guy thinks he knows where he's going. He didn't know. They get down, you know, narrow side streets. It took them an hour and a half to back the trucks out, get the mess untangled. Thank God we were a part of it. But
Yeah. What kind of stuff were you carrying with you back then, like in the wintertime? Because you kind of had to be your own mechanic, too, right?
Oh, guys used to come to work for my father. They had like a mason's bag, you know,
Okay.
canvas bag, baling wire, tape, friction tape, tools, pliers, flashlight. The bag was, you know, good
filters,
size.
filter wrenches, all that stuff.
Well, you didn't have that trouble. Gas engines
really?
was still,
with
something to warm you up.
Jack.
A little antifreeze.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blankets?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Especially the fellows that went north to Maine. Ooh.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. The heaters were, you know, the wipers were vacuum, federal trucks. You let up on the gas and the wipers quit. And to heat up the defrosters, they had the magnetic suction cups, like an iPad size, that you stuck onto the inside of the window and hooked it up to electric. And it had wires that warmed it, and that would melt whatever was hopefully on the outside of the window. To add to your defrosters, so they would keep it so you could see what you were doing.
Wow.
Yeah.
I never heard that before.
Yeah, no. Vacuum 2 speeds with a lever like a disconnect switch.
Yeah.
You know, nothing, no, you had to reach forward,
Right.
turn it.
Now, what's this truck right here?
This is a 1928 Mac. They call it a pup. The Bulldog was the bigger one with the sloped hood that came down. The radiator on the Bulldog, they moved back here where this cowl is,
Yeah.
and the hood tipped up and the motor was exposed. And that was a Bulldog. They called this, the nickname of this truck was the Pup. Matt Pup.
Yep.
Yeah. AB. AB is the model by Mack, but drivers and everything knew as the Pup. Matt
What's it got under the hood?
That's a 4-cylinder similar to the other one. It's probably dirty now, but
We won't judge.
That's why people,
Nobody's gonna see this
that's
anyway.
why people like the truck shows. Dave Morrow started off with cars,
Yeah.
and that's why they
Wow. That doesn't look dirty to me. Cleaner than my engine.
just catch that end if you can. We'll hook on that little hook right there, Mike. Up a little more. Is it a little spot? Up inside.
Oh yeah, I see it.
There you go. That way.
Right there.
There you go. Now you're cooking.
Okay. Now we're cooking with fire here.
Yeah, I had to remake that exhaust. The other one was all like this. That's the intake. Carburetor's down there.
Yeah.
Water pump looks like an old Maytag washing machine.
Mm-hmm.
Shaft goes between the drive and the pump, and there's packing in there like on an old boat. We had to take the packing and wrap it inside and tighten the nut. You want them to drip because it keeps everything cooler, the water, as it's running.
Interesting.
This I was blessed. It had a starter running,
Yeah.
and you don't have to crank it. It will start with a crank, but it's dual
You got those
spark
spark
plugs. It's only 4-cylinder. This one, this one, this one, and that one.
Okay.
But I believe someone told me, and after being in this truck club probably 40 years, I was in the second show of Makanji. I was here.
God.
It was Wind Gap, Pennsylvania, Joe Beers's. This is a fire engine head because they had 2 spark plugs for each cylinder, so you could change it if it wouldn't start. You had that option to get to the fire. But 4-speed, this will go about 40, 45 miles an hour. After that, the windows start shaking. You know, you back off. You back off. It starts, you know, telling you, hey, give me a break.
How's the air conditioning?
Yeah.
It's good with the doors open?
Yeah. You know, these are your doors. They slide and launch for the winter.
Do they drive these in the wintertime?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, they pull that curtain down?
Yeah, that unravels.
Oh, my
God. On the other side, it's got this. That'll open.
What's the inside look like?
Big
So that's
emergency brake.
Parking brake?
Yeah,
What's
that's
next
your
to it?
parking brake. That's your shift lever.
What's it like?
No automatic.
No automatics?
No.
What's it like, a
fuel
5-speed?
tank under the seat. 4-speed.
4-speed,
Yeah. This is what I'm going to take up to the Reese across America in another couple of months.
Okay.
I have to check with them. It's a suggestion.
Yeah.
It's Christmassy colors.
Oh, yeah.
And I was going to load some wreaths for the Hull Cemetery in this at their plant, have it at their little truck shop and truck stop on Route 1, let other company and drivers see it and promote the wreath program. Then put this in the van with a load of wreaths already on it, tied off with manila rope and Dutchman without crushing the wreaths.
Yeah, of course.
And then when I get to Hull, I can take this out of the trailer and take it to the cemetery. I'd have to back up the hills because of the gas tank has to be higher than the carburetor for the gas.
Right.
There's no fuel pump on this, so. And that way we'll deliver them right out of the truck and have our local newspaper there. And we're trying to promote, try and bring the country back to its senses.
Right.
I mean, I'm 82 and I've seen a lot of changes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know you have. How long have you guys had this truck?
Ooh.
Like, have you had it so long that you were working it?
No.
Okay.
I have. I've loaded furniture. I went to the auto car show in Greensboro, North Carolina, and I had a person's furniture in it, and I delivered it to her house.
Of course you did.
She had antiques.
Really?
And she came out, she looked, I don't care about my furniture. Can I get a picture of that truck? I said, sure you can. So as a result, we delivered it, and then I made 2 pickups around Greensboro. They were going north.
Yeah.
Everything has to earn its keep. There's no free ride with me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We've had loads in that old 1911. You know?
Really?
Yeah.
No deadheading, huh?
No. They always joke. What'd you do today? What'd you bring down? What'd you unload? You know.
Hey, fuel costs money.
Yeah, believe money more than that. Yeah, this has the electric headlights on it. Oh, I see I have a loose wire there. But 12-volt system.
Yeah.
We just rewired some of the batteries. My friends came by and we were having an issue with it, with the power, but the battery cables were corroded within. Green, you know, they had lost their ability to transfer the power. When I made this body, it's duplicate of what the other one, actually the other one's a duplicate of this, because we had this done first. And my dad, God love her, was telling me how you had to make the body. You had to have these hooks. We used to haul wool off the docks for Jenkins, and everything was ropes.
Yep.
There was a fellow, Leo O'Brien, that was a foreman for Henry Jenkins, and they did a lot of the bales of wool, Australian bales, which were the small one. The grease wool were the big bales, like a potato sack, went from side to side. So when we made this, my dad was adamant on the tailgate that when you open this up, you didn't want to have a space between the tailgate and the body where the leg of a bureau could drop down as you were passing it off and break the leg or the caster.
Oh, interesting.
Fall. So this is almost touching the body when it's done.
Yeah. Wow.
You did have a winch in it.
That's real wood.
Well, yeah. I've had people come up to it and look at it, the sun shining, and then go back and get a magnet like off his dad.
Really?
I said, hold on to it, it's going to drop. It's not steel. And it would drop. You know, if this was, it was a good sunny day, I mean, it shines like it's on.
So
it's
I know
a few battles.
I noticed the lights behind it. Is that is that how it's supposed to be?
No, that's a Model A or whatever. People corrected me on that.
That's interesting.
I'm not. I don't lie, you know.
Oh,
So I had some older lights, but I haven't put them on.
very cool.
Yeah. This is
You'll have to take me for a ride in it someday.
Oh yeah. This is what they call a strong arm. This goes across the tailgate, as you can see it, to support the middle.
Yeah.
It's anchored there, anchored here, and this is in the middle. As this truck here came from Mack with the same type. Flatbeds used to have these. See that? See that iron with the rod down?
Oh yeah, I see that.
Behind the toolbox.
So they tie the ropes to these hooks?
Yeah, oh yeah. Many rope times
Many
on
ropes,
these,
huh?
yeah.
You gotta have no like certain knots and stuff?
Oh yeah, Dutchman.
Dutchman?
Yeah, that's what they call them. Yeah, you could do it by simply wrapping ropes, and then when you got done, you just pulled it and it unraveled itself.
Okay.
Not a half hitch and a loop and you
Wow.
know. Yeah, there were no ratchet straps, none of that jazz. It was
all ropes.
Rope.
Wow.
Matter of fact, we used to do deliveries in Maine, New Hampshire, and Vermont at Christmas time, Thanksgiving up till Christmas, and my dad would load up a straight job with the big peak out over the top of the cab. You know, look, that's why I'm round-shouldered. You're the first guy at the red light. You had to bend down over the little whites and the federal small windshield.
Yeah.
So you'd start off, and your first stop might be Kittery. And then you work your way all the way up to Presque Isle, believe it or not. Staying in guest houses and, you know, one bathroom with 4 rooms down the hall, you know. But they knew the drivers and they knew us, and sometimes you'd get in late, and you'd leave a note, you know. Oh yeah? Thank you, you know, telephone, it was the only way to communicate.
Right. So would you call home like once a day?
Oh yeah. Well, that was a code on the road years ago. But getting back to the deliveries, we used to do Gilchrist, Jordan Marsh, Sears and Roebuck, which was the catalog was the Bible to those people up country, because I mean you could order anything back in the day. Yep. And he'd start off with a big hand line, and the last stop up on the peak would be something for Fort Kent. Then Madawaska, but the rope showed you where the next delivery piece was. So when you got to the back of the truck, that was the first piece. Okay. So you'd undo that knot, take that desk, 2 sleds, toboggan, and then you'd coil the rope hanging on the boat cleat inside, and then you'd follow the rope to the next one, and the ticket would match that piece, you know. Yeah. Because sometimes you had 20, 30 deliveries. I mean. And he always used to say, don't bring anything back. Give it to the local general store. Take it to the cobbler shop. Go to the barber shop. Go to the post office. Right. You know, get rid of that. We don't want it back here. We don't want it to go back. And pay for the same real estate
Yeah.
twice.
And then you load coming home?
Not really. We
Okay.
did haul potatoes a couple of
Potatoes,
times
yeah.
coming back. Yeah. A couple of times overweight down through Mattawamscott and
Sure.
Bridgewater.
Was Dysart's around back then?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're an old company. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, they were Bangor.
Yeah.
Coles naturally was a big
Oh, yeah.
one. Fox and Ginn was a big one.
Mm-hmm.
Then you had the trucks that hauled to the grocery stores, you know, out
Yeah,
of Boston.
Hannaford,
Yeah,
and-
right,
yeah,
right.
yeah.
They'd come out of Boston with canned goods, this,
Mhm.
that. Then they had fish, Americana out of Portland.
Yeah. Red, white, and blue.
Red, white, and
Cowboy
blue.
the Kenworth.
Well, then before that, they had the Astros.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And then there were local guys in KP and Trans out of Gloucester with
Oh,
the
yeah.
fish, and down in around Boston there was a lot of Johnny Gurry, good mentor to me, Eric Lorenzen. I used to ride with him. He had a 200 auto car, 1951 high hat cab with a 5 and a 2, 200 single disc Cummins pump.
Mm-hmm.
And he could really, they'd load that truck, put blocks between the springs and the bottom of the
Yeah.
frame. Yeah, I mean,
Wow.
right to the roof. Two Novi straight jobs, which were homemade trucks. They'd add a dummy axle. They'd come out of Nova Scotia down to Boston. They'd transfer it to the trailers to take it down to the New York Fish Fulton Fish Market.
Mm.
So I've that Route 1. That was it. That was a tough road. There used to be traffic directing policemen in the box in the intersections.
Yep.
The guys, two
Really?
or three of them, would get together and they'd try and make the corrugated bodies hit the umbrella that the cop was standing
Really?
under to
And
see
twirl
if they
it?
could twirl. There was a lot of memories. Yeah.
Well,
Today, it's not the same by any means. Yeah.
well, my battery's about to die.
Oh, well,
So
part 3 to be
that's a
continued.
good thing.
Yeah.
That's okay. I want to thank you very
Hey,
much
thanks,
once again.
Mike. Yeah.
It's a
No,
pleasure.
I could talk for a week.
No, hey, we love it.